Hello and welcome to Think Watercolour. For today's demonstration, I'm painting this simple view of a Cheshire field in winter. My aim is to show how to use a limited palette, just 3 colours in this case, to sketch a cold wintry scene and create depth through aerial perspective. For those of you who aren't quite familiar with aerial perspective, it's in simple terms, it is representing distant objects as fainter with less detail and often more blue in tone. I also want to show how by painting loosely with less detail you can paint with more freedom and creativity. This is an 11" by 7" piece of Saunders Waterford 300g rough paper, and I'm very loosely sketching the scene to give me a framework to build on. Starting with a faint line for the edge of the far field, then a few marks for the fence and gate with the stile next to it. Keeping it all very loose and simple. Not too much detail, just an indication of what's there. I then indicated the 2 trees with a little more detail, but not too much. Just enough to give me this framework to work on. And that's really all you need as a guide for your sketch. For those of you who want to paint along with me and copy this sketch, I suggest if you wait till the end of this section, when I've finished sketching in the trees, you can freeze the video and make your own copy. Don't try and copy it too slavishly, just use the loose indication that I have and make your own sketch. And as I said earlier, I only used 3 colours in this painting: ultramarine blue, sepia and raw sienna, and that's it. Just a few more lines to indicate the edge of the track leading up to the gate, and I'm pretty much finished with the sketch. As you can see, it's very simple and easy to follow. This is a blue-grey mix of ultramarine and sepia for the sky, and I'm working flat on dry paper. This is a simple gradated wash, keeping it dark at the top and lighter at the bottom, just lifting out with a damp brush at the base there. And here I'm mixing up a slightly bluer mix, adding the grey mix to some more ultramarine, a little bit bluer, just to, while the sky's still wet, just drop in the wash for the tree line. This will all dry much lighter and I'll go over it later. Just to give an indication of that distant tree line. And as I said earlier, this is part of aerial perspective. It's slightly bluer and less detail, just letting the colours blend together on the paper. And here I'm using that same mix, a little bit more ultramarine, just for the shadows on the snow in the foreground field and the track leading up to the gate. Just very loosely putting some shadow in, nothing too specific, just a suggestion of some shadow there. And at this point I was going to let the painting dry completely, but before I did that I lifted a little bit of colour out of the sky. And as you can see, now it's dry, I can start adding in a little bit more detail on that distant row of trees. Slightly darker mix, using the same 2 colours, sepia and ultramarine, and then just softening the edges with some clean water, just on a damp brush. This will dry lighter again and it will give that aerial perspective, and just softening the base of that tree line. And while the paint's still wet, just adding a little bit more pigment here and there, and then softening again with some clean water. Here I've mixed up some fairly neat sepia, almost straight out of the tube, quite thick paint, and using a small number 2 brush just to paint the fence line. Again, keeping it very loose, not too much detail. Painting with freedom. The bottom rail of the fence is buried in the snow a little bit, just a few bits of it poking through the snow. If you are copying this, do try and paint with freedom. You'd be surprised how much more you enjoy it, rather than being pedantic and just trying to copy every single detail. And using the same mix for the trees, just putting in the main trunks first with this number 2 brush. Because the paint's quite thick, getting a few skip marks where the brush is skipping over the paper, which is fine. It all adds to the texture of the painting. I'll just switch to a rigger now, and you can see that I'm holding it fairly vertically, and if you do that, then you can use the springiness of the rigger to paint the branches. And I'm sorry my hand's in the way for this bit. I really must start using a second camera and film at an angle so you can see what I'm painting, but you'll see when I paint the other tree that keeping the brush reasonably vertical, you can use the springiness of the rigger brush. There you can see, and you get these nice jagged corners and bends in the branches, and that helps to make them look more natural. And at this point, just making up as I go along, just added a few more branches here and there. The trick is not to overdo it when you're painting trees in winter. It's very easy to paint too many branches. If you just give a good indication of what's there, the viewer's eye will do the rest and fill it in. Just make sure you overlap some of the branches as well. Again, you can see I'm using just those same 3 colours, mixing them in different places. For those distant trees, I've just mixed up a very light mix using the sepia with the grey mix, just to indicate a few tree trunks. Again, these will dry lighter and add to the aerial perspective. And it's just a suggestion of some tree trunks and branches in the distance. Here I'm just using the side of the rigger, again using the sepia, just to indicate some undergrowth sticking up through the snow, and the same along the edge of the track leading up to the gate. More detail closer to us, and as it gets further away, less detail. Again, that all adds to perspective. And here I've mixed up some of that raw sienna, just to add a bit of variety in the texture in the foreground. Just again using the rigger just to indicate a few bits of plant growing up through the snow. And these foreground details help to draw the eye forward, so again it adds to perspective in the painting. And again using the side of the rigger just along the bottom of the fence line, just a few bits sticking up. This is white gouache, pretty much straight out of the tube, just to add a little bit of a hint of snow trapped in the branches of the tree. just blown up along one side of each tree. Keeping it all very loose. Again, the trick is not to overdo it. Just enough to give the impression that the tree has had some snow on it. Again, just a hint of snow on the top of the fence rails and the gate. Nothing too much, just a suggestion of what's there. Yeah, the painting's coming together now. Just a few more details to put in, I think. Just decided to add a few birds, again using a rigger. Just an indication of one further away, one close to us. Maybe another one. That's enough. Again, don't overdo it with birds. Just adding a little bit more detail on that track, just to indicate where some tractor tyres have driven through. Again, just a little bit more detail in the foreground. Just keeps the eye forward so that it adds depth to the painting. Finally, just darkening that blue mix with some of the grey, just to put some darker shadows in the foreground in the snow. Again, it all helps to bring the eye forward and add depth to the painting. And I think I'm pretty much done. I do hope you found this demonstration useful. It just goes to show what you can achieve with just 3 colours and a little bit of imagination. It's a simple idea and hopefully should be fairly easy for you to copy should you wish to do so. If you did find it useful, do give it a like. It really helps with YouTube. Do subscribe if you're not a subscriber and hit the notification bell for future videos. And thank you so much for watching.